here in the Altitude Studios. I'm going to need you to explain what we just witnessed tonight, 'cause that was so close to becoming the nadir of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
A call late in the game changes things, but perhaps it's a call they didn't get earlier in their year when they lost games like that. You know, things go both ways. But what's your overall takeaway from that game? Are we so highbrow in Nuggets Nation that we look down upon a win over lowly Utah?
I think many of us will. I just really do.
Yeah.
Because the records of these two teams coming in says that you should probably just win this game going away. But players like Keyonte George, who is actually one of their regulars, and a coach like Will Hardy really has a fun and innovative system, very hard to guard. And so it was hard for the Nuggets to guard. But also, the Nuggets are just in this space where they're not doing everything right. So even if you're much more talented or as a team than the team that you're playing against, sometimes these things can be a little bit rough to get through. And so for the Nuggets, that was happening here tonight. The call that was reversed on Nikola Jokic was huge, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I thought Utah obviously made a mistake by not fouling immediately with 16 seconds to go, and the ball was inbounded to Nikola.
Yeah.
The Nuggets played a keep away on that situation. So good. I mean, that's what bad teams do. They don't do the right things. So, but I think for the Nuggets, they just had to get through this. They were able to do it, and hopefully it starts. We can build a foundation.
In fact, producer Mike, you got me onto something. Can you cue up that last shot that was reviewed that sort of changed the course, the outcome of the game? Before we get to that, I have to ask you something just about Utah, because two things can be true, right? A lot of people misinterpret this. An organization can actively try to tank. Utah is sitting 3 of their bigs, one for the rest of the season for sleep apnea. But the players on the court, they're trying to win. Yeah,
and that, Vic, is the most important point, because I think when we say tanking and we're like, that team's not trying to win, it's as if the players are out there going through the motions as well. Those players are not going through the motions. And quite honestly, if Utah began this season in a space where they didn't want to tank. They actually wanted to play competitive basketball and try to get themselves into the play-in. What happened was immediate injuries and then all the losses, and then they just waved the white flag as an organization. Now, when you put Keyonte George on the court, the dude's going to score 30 points because that's what he does. When you put Sensabaugh on the court, he's going to hit 3-pointers because that's what he does. And so the Nuggets really did have to put this team away. They play hard. They play very competitively at home. But thank goodness for Jamal Murray taking over and leading the Nuggets to it.
So another look at that last play with 16 seconds left and the Nuggets nursing a 1-point lead. It looked like Utah was headed to the foul line here. Keyonte George goes to his left, gets to the rim, foul called, and it looked like it was going to be Joker's 6th foul, which put him in ball game. But they decided to review it. What did you see here to agree with the referees that it's a no call?
Yeah, so, I was actually worried about you see that contact
the left
low?
hand.
Yeah. That's what I was most worried about. So what the referee just said was that there was marginal contact down low and then up high, that he got the ball first.
And as long as you get the ball first, you can get anything after
Correct.
that.
Yeah, exactly right. And so if they're going to say that the contact below didn't matter, then the contact above was a block is what it was.
You know what's crazy about a call like that? That entire game was a wrestling match. It was an all-out cage match. And it comes down to something like that.
I know. I know. I don't think, honestly, I don't think this game was refereed with any kind of consistency at all. You know, you had a lot of rough stuff with Nikola Jokic, but then you have touch fouls, but then you have no call. You had every type of call in the book, and I just don't know as a player or a coach. If you're a coach, if you're David Adelman, what do you tell your players about how you should be playing this game? If you're a player and you say, okay, well, you're calling it one way, now you're calling it the other way. It was a mishmash of everything.
One thing is clear, though. You mentioned how they guarded Nikola Jokic. More and more teams are starting to go at them with smaller players. The Munchkin militia are going after Nikola Jokic. We saw it early in the game. We saw it late. And it's starting to get under his skin a little bit. He's getting touched. He's getting fouled. They're not calling all those fouls.
So here's what's interesting about it. So do you remember last season when the Lakers, this was right after the All-Star. Yeah, absolutely. So when you're a small team, look, from a coaching point of view, when your team is smaller, the first thing you're going to want to do is front the biggest player.
What's he doing under there?
And so what you saw with Utah is they're trying to front him. You see, this is Ace Bailey right here, just fronting the post because you don't want him to catch the ball with any kind of ease, and you want to be physical about it. And so I think you just see some teams, and Nikola just threw Mihailovic out of the way right there. But from a physicality standpoint and from just a strategic standpoint, you're going to see certainly smaller players try to front Nikola Jokic. And then I think you'll see some taller teams do the same thing with help behind. We first saw this in real significant way last season when J.J. Redick brought the Lakers in here, and it was, they came in, they fronted him all night long. He was out of sorts, and then the Lakers got all kinds of praise for how they defended Nikola Jokic. Well, this is exactly what the Utah Jazz did here today. I don't think this is the last time we'll see it. He's just too good a player. You can't just let him catch and then look over the defense and do what he wants. So these teams are going to try to find creative ways to get him out of his game. Nikola Jokic is going to have to figure it out a little bit. You got to, as him, he stands up kind of tall. You're going to have to get a little bit lower. Root those players out with your knee and your thigh and then be able to catch the ball.
I know we saw a lot of Caruso doing it last year, but I think this trend started. Do you remember when the Lakers came in here shorthanded and they beat the Nuggets in Denver?
Yes.
And they played small ball against the Joker. I mean, look at some of this stuff. This is at the foul line.
And he just landed on Keontae.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as long as you're going to be there,
correct.
Right? Yeah.
So if you're, I just need you guys to know that right there, that's Jokic saying, okay, if you're going to get into me, I'm going to fall directly on you, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And Keontae stayed down for a little while after that. So he's finding ways to kind of get some shots in himself, but ultimately he's going to have to get it sorted out.
It's taking him out of his game.
Yeah, David Adelman is going to have to get it sorted out to help him be able to deal with it.
All right. Nuggets do emerge victorious.
And, he was very necessary tonight. He was the most necessary player on the court tonight, given what he did with the efficiency and with which he did it. And with the, yeah, exactly right. And Utah's just not, they were making it very difficult to get straight to the rim. I thought he did such a great job of getting straight to mid-range, getting the step backs. He had the right shot at the right time every single time, and he was able to knock those in. And, in order to break through bad streaks, you need performances like that. You might just have to have it. And so Jamal really came to the rescue for this basketball team here today. And the Nuggets needed it. And it's been a great season for him. It probably should end in some sort of an all-NBA nod. But this was vintage Jamal in the time that the Nuggets needed it most.
They needed it desperately.
Yeah.
I'm sure the head coach would agree. Let's go back to Utah. Coach's comments, David Adelman.
You guys figured it out down the stretch in this
I
one?
thought we were better defensively. They just look. Keontae George played great. He made some really tough shots. We changed our coverages with him when he wasn't making threes. He was attacking the basket, and we were super small again. And so once he got to the rim, once he breaches your defense, it's really hard at the rim playing four guards out there. But thought the effort was much better. The turnovers killed us tonight. It really allowed them to run. It led to the 25 fast break points. It's a little bit better in the second half. But I just thought we stayed with it. And it's, I don't know, I guess nowadays people judge wins. I don't. Wins are wins, losses are losses. We would have beat OKC and Caruso misses that three and we lose tonight. What's the difference? We're just trying to win, get ourselves to a good place. So just proud of the guys just staying with it. There was no panic. They made huge shots at the end. I just... just an unbelievable effort from the team to stay with it. And Jamal was really special. I mean, 45 points on 19 shots.
How would you describe his night?
He just carried us. He really did. He was the guy that had legs tonight. Tough shot making. We tried to get him into certain combinations where he had matchups that he liked. And Nikola's being guarded by three people. So it was a Jamal night. And I love these nights just because he has this in him. He can do it. He can take over a game. You can put him in a situation. He'll make a tough shot. And that's what he did. So free throw line, three-point line, field goal percentage, all of it was just so efficient. And that's what we needed tonight to find a way to win the game.
What are you learning about the way the teams are defending Joker?
Yeah, I mean, we have to make open shots. We made 16 threes. I thought guys, they turned down shots. If they're going to put three people on him, one in front of him, two behind him, basically playing illegal defense, you stand in the middle of the key. Other people have to be aggressive to score. And I think flashing guards to look high-low isn't a way you can attack this right now. So we have to look to skip the ball, and those guys have to look to shoot it. You have to take advantage of this. So we did give him the ball at the nail. That's where I thought he was effective. Got to the line 11 times. Just getting him the ball, though, has been a chore, and we have to do a better job of that.
That's a good lesson in why you save your coach's challenge for the last possible second, because that turned out to be a crucial junction.
Yeah, I know, and that's tough. It's the game's emotional throughout, and there's times you see something, you feel like you're right, and sometimes it's worth just being right, but you're wrong. So don't use it because you might need it later. That's not the same thing every night, and there's certain nights you think you're right, and then you're wrong, and you lose your challenge like the other night. So yeah, it's that thing is complicated in every game we play. Glad I had it. Glad I had the 2 timeouts left. It allowed us to advance the ball, play the free throw game. So yeah, it worked out for us.